Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Today, the movie I'm going to describe explores the themes of possession, exorcism, and the battle between good and evil. It delves into the journey of the protagonist who faces supernatural challenges while discovering her own strength and fighting against the forces of darkness. The name of the movie is Pray for the Devil. Here comes the story. In the beginning of the story, we meet a girl named Anne who is in her room. She is praying with her eyes closed and appears to be very scared. Suddenly, her mother knocks on the door, but Anne doesn't open it. This angers her mother, who starts banging her head on the door, revealing Anne's fear for her. The story then jumps ahead into a few years, and Anne has grown up to become a nun. She is sitting with a doctor who tells her that her mother used to be a very good woman. When Anne was young, her mother used to often visit the doctor and take care of him, even combing her hair. But then her behavior changed dramatically. She began hurting her while singing a song, not doing it on purpose, but because of a strange voice inside her. It turns out that she was possessed by the devil. In 1835, a school was established to teach exorcism and process of breaking black magic. The number of possessed individuals was increasing, so it was decided to keep them in the school where the sisters and nuns would take care of them, while the fathers and priests learned exorcism to cure them completely. And despite being the nun, becomes interested in learning exorcism. She resides in a large church, but starts attending the school. In class, the same doctor she spoke with earlier explains black magic and its elimination. Some people in the school are under Anne's care. One of them, a 10-year-old girl named Natalie, becomes fond of Anne. One night, Anne hears someone calling her and senses movement. She investigates but finds no one. Later, while walking near the patient's area, she hears a child's cry and wonders where it came from. Suddenly, Natalie appears, surprising Anne because the patients are usually kept locked in their rooms with only a few nuns allowed inside. Anne talks to Natalie briefly and sends her back into her room. As Anne continues her exploration, she hears someone calling her again. She starts recognizing these voices and ponders while she is hearing them. Passing by a class, she joins quietly and listens to the head teacher instructing the new father priest about exorcism. A video is shown of a girl possessed by the devil who died because exorcism was not performed successfully. Anne sits attentively as she has always been fascinated by this topic. The teacher emphasizes the need of caution and readiness while facing possessed individuals, comparing to the battlefield. They must be strong and focused, relying on God's teaching as the devil and his allies try to distract them. The teacher stresses the importance of faith in God for successful exorcisms, as it may not always be possible to cure the possessed, and in some cases they may even die. Now we enter a flashback where Anne confides with the doctor about her mother's possession. She shares that her mother heard a voice where it said that it didn't want her but wanted Anne. The voice claimed that Anne was a special soldier chosen by God to fight against them, referring to the evil forces. Anne expresses her desire to read other people's records in the library, but a strict nun informs her that she can only access the files that she saw outside and must stay away from the classes taught by the priests and father where exorcism is taught. Anne questions why there is an issue with her learning exorcism, to which the nun firmly refuses her request. There is a head father who supports Anne's desire to learn, but the nun insists that it only brings danger and wants to protect her by keeping her away from it. Anne becomes worried, but then an old man attacks her, causing the patient to become unconscious. The nun and the head father discuss this incident with the senior priest, who suggests sending Anne back to her big church where she came from. However, the head father dismisses the idea, stating that changing the location won't help the devil from pursuing her. The next day, Anne starts attending the exorcism class, which upsets everyone except for one friendly father. After the class, the father takes them to the upper floor to witness real exorcism in action. They visit a room where the most dangerous individuals are kept. Natalie, who is severely possessed, is in that room. The head father and the younger father, who is learning exorcism, explains that the person who they will be performing exorcism on is the most dangerous devil. The devil knows everyone's secrets, their shame, and all other sins, and the exorcism aims to break their soul. As they begin the exorcism, Natalie scares and attacks them, leaping onto the roof. The room's window prevents them from seeing outside, but onlookers can observe them from outside. Natalie approaches the window and looks at Anne as if covering her eyes. Insects start emerging from her hands. The devil inside Natalie imposes Anne to let her possess her as the situation spirals out of control. However, the possessed Natalie also attacks them, urging them to take care of themselves and regain control. The impact of this plea affects Natalie, momentarily bringing her into her senses. The head father recites spells and incantations while freeing Anne's hair from the devil's grasp, as the devil was inside her. Through their united efforts, the three of them become good friends, forging a strong bond. One of them acknowledges that Anne's approach worked, as they saw Natalie trying to regain control and come into her senses. This revelation takes Natalie in the state of shock and embarrassment, causing great worry for the others. Later that night, Anne has a nightmare in which her mother frightens her, adding to her existing concerns. Natalie shares that she had a disturbing dream in which she saw a place filled with people who are showing her scary things. They are fearful and urging her to do as they do. In her dream, Anne was also present, screaming. This adds to Anne's worry. Despite the forbidden nature of it, Anne begins taking note on which possessed individuals experience and go through, gaining insight of their condition. She learns that after being possessed, many individuals' conditions worsen, leading them to be sent to school for exorcism. However, even there, they are unable to recover and ultimately succumb into their possession. This knowledge deeply troubles Anne, particularly as Natalie's condition deteriorates day by day. Anne comes to the realization that during possession, the devil exploits a person's shame and sins. When the person becomes overwhelmed by their shame and sins, the devil seizes control and claims victory. Anne understands that during exorcism, it is crucial to strengthen individuals from within so that they don't succumb into their shame and sins, thereby increasing the chances of successful exorcism. Anne shares her insight with the head father and raises the question of what shame a 10-year-old girl like Natalie could possibly have. The head father contemplates this, recognizing Natalie's innocence and pure heart. They are about to uncover how the devil has taken hold of Natalie. Together, Anne and the head father visit the house of a priest and brother to initiate the exorcism. They discover that the devil is tormenting Natalie, causing her immense sadness. Anne reassures her sister that she is truly loved, and these words bring happiness to Natalie. This positive response indicates progress and a small victory. However, the devil retaliates by manipulating objects around them, but Natalie remains unharmed. This brings great joy over the three of them, as it signifies their triumph over the devil's influence. They sit outside, discussing their experiences. Anne opens up about her past, revealing that a wealthy family adopted her when she became addicted to drugs at the age of 15, leading to numerous problems. The family eventually expelled her, and it was the nuns and sister who supported her during that time. She sadly had to part ways with her daughters, whom she couldn't raise, and the nuns adopted her instead. After the tragic events, Anne decides to become a nun and devote her life to serving as a sister. She leaves a cross locket, a precious possession given to her by her mother, with Natalie. This locket holds deep significance, as Anne has prayed for forgiveness since childhood. While alone in her room, Anne reflects onto her mother, with sharp objects seemingly emerged into her eyes, indicating a connection to her possession. The head nun interrupts Anne's thoughts and informs her that her father's friend who had been present during the exorcism has taken her own life. This news sparks anger towards Anne and the father for not seeking permission before conducting the exorcism. Overwhelmed by the sadness and guilt, Anne willingly accepts whatever punishment awaits her. Anne is later visited by a doctor who offers encouragement and acknowledges her good nature, emphasizing her potential to save lives and embrace her new path. The doctor reveals that exorcism on Natalie was successful, and she is discharged the following day to reunite with her mother. This news brings immense joy to Anne. However, the next day, the father's friend arrives and delivers devastating news. Natalie has been possessed again, and her possession has become more severe. She has taken lives of 3 people, including priests and nuns. The father's friend hands Anne the locket, indicating Natalie has requested to be sent to her. Realizing the truth, Anne understands that Natalie is her own daughter, and Satan targeted her to weaken Anne's resolve. Determined to save her daughter, Anne joins the father in confronting Natalie's possession. They arrive at the place where exorcism has been performed since 1835, accompanied by other priests who recite magical words and spells to combat the demonic influence. Anne, now wielding her own powers, attacks and eliminates the priests, unleashing her full strength. Anne attempts to communicate with Natalie, but Satan speaks to her instead, revealing Anne's abandonment with her daughter and urging her to confess this to everyone. Anne, aware that the devil has targeted her entire family, accepts her responsibility and the consequences of her past actions. However, her ultimate goal is to protect her daughter and invites the devil to possess her own body. Possessed by the devil, Anne is uncontrollable and poses a threat to Natalie's life. The father intervenes, carrying Anne away to protect her. He instructs her to hide, and in her possessed state, Anne emerges with the intention of drowning Natalie in a lake filled with holy water, mistakenly believing it to be ordinary water. The father, locked inside, desperately tries to stop Anne. However, Natalie's grandmother, aware of the danger, comes to rescue and shields Natalie. Anne momentarily breaks free with her possession and recalls her family and the precious moments spent with her mother. Filled with courage, she fights back against the evil, placing the cross locket into her head and plunging her into the holy water. Through this act, Anne's sins are washed away and the devil is forced to leave her body. The scene transitions into Anne in the hospital, recovering from the ordeal. Natalie visits her, unaware that Anne is her biological mother, and they share a heartful moment without revealing their true relationship. Anne's selfless act to sacrificing herself to saving others brings happiness to everyone. Natalie expresses her gratitude and leaves, acknowledging how Anne defeated the devil by disregarding her own life. The senior priest recognizes Anne's bravery and suggests that she learns exorcism to serve people and become a record-breaking female exorcist. This idea fills Anne with joy, and everyone around her is so pleased. The head priest offers her encouragement, expressing her happiness for Anne's achievements. He advises her to remain conscious she has become known to the devil, emphasizing the need to act accordingly. Anne takes his words to heart and promptly departs. However, even as she leaves, the driver of the car suddenly becomes possessed. Anne instinctively grasps her cross. In an unexpected turn, all the previous possessed individuals launch an attack on her. At this point in the story, it is clear that Anne, her mother, and the daughter were targeted by the evil as their prey. They were chosen by the god for significant purpose, and the devil sought to exploit them for their sinister agenda. The movie teaches us that good can triumph over evil, emphasizing the importance of inner strength, faith, and resilience in the face of adversity. It also highlights the themes of redemption, forgiveness, and breaking gender stereotypes, showing that women can be powerful and capable of combating evil. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe. Bye guys.